Well, hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? Well, this road is sort of in from the Tomb of the Kings road. So we're on an inner road. We are just down from the old town, and this is what I call one of the, I'm not going to say it's a shortcut, but it keeps you out of the traffic, if you understand me. And at around about lunchtime is, and it's absolute chaos. Everybody is going home for lunch. It's a very, very big tradition in Cyprus. It's like it was in the UK many, many years ago. I remember, a little story for now, my grandfather. We used to live, because if you understand, my parents worked abroad, so my grandmother and grandfather were like my second mum and dad. So I spent an awful lot of time with them. And as I've said to many people, you know, if we were on a ship and they said, who are you going to say first, your mum and dad or your grandparents? I would say, ooh, that's a difficult one. And I'd say them all, because they had equal value to me. Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, as I was saying, we used to live probably about 14-15 miles away from his, well, you know, he had a garage, if you understand me. I'm not going to say it was a car dealership, because that would make it sound very, very grand indeed. Next time people on zebra crossings perhaps should look before they walk onto it. I was on the zebra crossing first, but there we go. Never mind. Next time I'll just run him over. It's Cyprus, it doesn't matter. Now, as I was saying, he had a car mechanic. He had about 7 mechanics working for him. He had an MOT bay, and he dealt in used cars and in new cars. He was a Triumph dealer, so it's a long, long time ago, back when Triumphs were really, really good cars. Anyway, he used to travel to work in a Triumph, because he was a Triumph dealer, at about 7 o'clock in the morning, get to work for around about, I don't know, 7:30. But at around about 12:30, all tools were dropped, and he'd jump in his car and he would come home for lunch. Exactly. I think a lot of people remember this from the, well, 50s, 60s and 70s, isn't it? Definitely, definitely. And then after lunch, at about 1:30, he would drive back and be back in work for around about 2 o'clock. Now, that doesn't mean the garage closed. No, it didn't. People took it in shifts, but of course it was his garage. So as far as he was concerned, at 12:30 he was going for lunch, and he got back for 2. And that tradition in Cyprus continues, and to be honest, I am very, very guilty of it myself. I tend to get up pretty early in the morning and get all my bits and bobs done, go and find parts, go and see what's going on in the body shop, go and see how the mechanics are getting on, go and see customers and all that kind of stuff. And to be honest, you know, at around about 1 o'clock, I want to be done. I want to get home. I want to go and see the most beautiful woman in the world. Her name is Miss Ochingwasilia Both. I'm Marika, and often we'll either go out for lunch or she'll make lunch. And then after that, of course, as you probably know, we go and do the Chuchuchki dancing down the downtown Gate of Paphos promenade and harbour area. And now and again, we even go and climb a rock and see if we can fall off it. And now and again, we storm a hotel and see if we can get arrested for it. So that's the story of Mr. Paul. And where are we? We have joined the Tomb of the Kings Avenue, and we are now exiting Paphos, and we are heading out towards Clorica. But before we get to Clorica, we are going to pass the King Elephant Hotel, the King Elephant Hotel. And it's really, really funny. The other day we bumped into a lady called Miss Karen and Mr. Ian, and they had the grandson with them. He was called the Bubblegum Ice Cream Eating Boy, and of course his name was Mr. Aaron. Had a great chat with him on camera and off camera. He was a star among stars, that's for sure. And Miss Karen has stayed in this hotel twice, and she said it's a great, great hotel indeed. Some of the Scottish superstars that have stayed in this hotel, of course, are, well, my cuz King James, his queen Karine, and if they're a king and she's a queen, and they've got a daughter, well, that must mean she's a princess. And I hope there's a big, big smile coming to her face, because she's pretty sure who she is. And of course her name is Princess the Cupcake with a little bit of blueberry in, loving girl, and her name is Princess Darlie. A very, very good morning to you, Princess Darlie. Hope you're feeling fine, and I hope you can have a great, great day, and we're looking forward to seeing you and your mum and dad sometime in September. That's what your dad is telling us, so we can't wait for it. And hopefully, Miss Darlie, you are going to Chuchuchki dance down the Gate of Paphos promenade with Marika, and we'd like to get it on camera. And hopefully we'll have a Marika and me hat on, pair of sunglasses, and I'll even loan you my t-shirt that your dad so kindly had made for us. So those are some of the superstars that appear on the channel known as Marika and Me. And if you want to get yourself Well, all you've got to do is tickle us in the comments, and we'll constantly mention you, because if you tickle us, we like to mention you, because we've got the tickling queen of all queens, who happens to be a dame, and of course her name is Dame Anne. We've also got a person who likes to sit next to her and check all the legalities, and she's a star. Her name is Anna Star. And we've got two boys who sit on each of their arms, making sure that they're all right and protecting them and looking after them. We've got the tongue-twisting Ronnie, all the way from the area known in Denmark, so therefore he must be a Viking Ronnie. And we've got a young man all the way from Scotland, who is the police of all police. He's the commissioner of Marie, and of course his name is the one and only superstar Ronnie Miller. We've got the Lords. There's a lot of Lords, by the way, isn't there? And to be honest, I think it's about time that there was another Lord made, and he's the man that is in charge of our website. His name is Richard, and superstar amongst superstars. He's got a beautiful wife called Julie Nash, and they've got a son, and he's my little mate, even though he's not that little. His name is Mr. Leo. So big shout out to you, Lord Richard. I promised him it was about time, and guess what? Today is that day. Lord Richard and Lady Julie Nash, and that must mean that they've got a son who is in line for that title in a few years' time, that's for sure. And the picture you sent me of your potential purchase, Lord Richard, wow, absolutely spectacular. Go and get your flexible friend out and just go and buy it. I'm sure you're going to like it, that's for sure. And I'll send you a mallet in the post. And I'll send up the boys. That's the Lords Simon and the Lords Jeremy. And then they'll sit in the back with a mallet each. And if ever you need to do any debt collecting, they'll jump out and show them their yuppers, that's for sure. And they'll be singing that song, Dizzle and Deborah. There we go. So, who else is in town at the moment, by the way? Let's have a think. Who is in town? Well, like I mentioned, Karen's here, Ian's here, and of course, Aaron is here. And he's probably frantically now hunting for some bubblegum ice cream on the Kate of Paphos promenade. Or maybe he's in the Girolamo getting some. You never know. You never know. Well, Lady so sweet Caroline, guess what? She's in town. And that means that Lord Nigel Big Guns, he's in town. And they've also brought with them a superstar amongst superstars. A young lady who's been with the channel for a long time. A young lady that we got our superstar Konstantinos to make a little bracelet and popped her name on a grain of rice. And she is chuchka dancing her way around the pools in the Olympic Lagoon Resort in downtown Paphos. And she's probably wondering today, what has gone on with the weather? But it's probably better than the weather back home. A very good morning to you, the one and only superstar known as Miss Ellie. We hope you're having a great holiday, Miss Ellie, and hopefully on the weekend your grandmother is going to take us and we're going to get to meet you, and hopefully you're going to like us. You never know. Or probably you'll ignore us. Who are these stupid old YouTubers? That's what you're probably thinking. Anyway, where are we? Downtown Clorica has gone, and we're now entering into the area known as, well, downtownish Kisonica. We've got the Atlantica Golden Beach Hotel on our left hand side, some villas being built, and you've got some shops and some restaurants. So anything you want in this area, if you're in a hotel, is literally on your doorstep. If your name's Bobo the dog, you can even pop there to the House of Paws and perhaps get a better haircut than your owner, Mr. Sean, gave you. And on that note, if you're wondering about the weather and your name is Mr. and you've got a husband called Mr. Sean, you've got a little cat that you stole from downtown Paphos a while about called Miss Daisy, and of course a dog called Bobo, well, the temperature today is around about 20 degrees, and you may have noticed that there's one or two of those drops falling on the windscreen, because today in Paphos, unfortunately, we're having a bit of chopsy-mopsy weather. But never mind, I'm sure it will bugger off by tomorrow. What have we got here? We've got the Sunset Bay Hotel. And why is it called the Sunset Bay Hotel? Because most people say that the sunset from downtown Kisonica is the greatest sunset in the world. If your name's Dame Anne, and if your name's Mr. Andy and Miss Nessie from Andy and Nessie's Travels, or Nessie and Andy's Travels, you'll probably disagree. You believe that the greatest sunset is from the Alexander the Great Hotel, and yes, Lady oh so sweet Caroline, we agree with you. We think it's even less windy outside the Great Hotel rather than just down the coastline by the Olympic Lagoon as well. Great hotel, the Olympic Lagoon, but the views from the Alexander the Great are better and it's less windy, and of course it's 10 minutes closer to Paradise, which of course is the downtown Cape of Paphos promenade. What's coming up now? Well, that is CU Beach Bar, and if your name is Daniel Mahoney and you're planning on coming out of Paphos very soon, well, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be tchotchke dancing on their new decked terraces very soon. And if you look out to sea, well, you're going to get a spectacular view today, because the weather is not just licking the coastline of Paphos, no, it's battering the coastline of downtown Paphos. It's well, a little bit chopsy mopsy today. This is the final stretch of road before we get to Peyia, and very surely you are going to see the blue Mediterranean Sea coming up on our left hand side, and well, there's a bit of cappuccino on top of it, that's for sure, because it's battering the coastline of Paphos today. But it truly is a spectacular view, and there's a bit of rain and a bit of spray coming onto the screen, and that is in the distance the Peyia area, and that peninsula sticking out on the left hand side, that is downtown Coral Bay. So I'm going to say thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, perhaps hit the like, click subscribe, come back for that little bit more of our madness. And if you want to watch the channel grow, want to go through to our about page, and if you want a special video for you, find that coffee icon, hit it 2 or 3 times, and let us know where you want us to go, and I promise you that video will be coming very soon. We'll let the video fade out. This is the final descent into the spectacular area known as Peyia, a very popular place indeed, with tourists, locals and expats alike. Thanks for watching.